Minasan, konnichiwa, Zamurai Engineer desu. In this module 7, which discusses occupancy classification, we will go to submodule number 3. And let's start with the objective of the code, which addresses specific requirements to minimize danger to life from fire. Meaning, it involves smoke, heat, and toxic gases. And doing so, this code provision also provides for mission continuity and property protection in both new construction and existing buildings. Chapter or module 7 is about occupancy classification, and under which we have 5 subtopics, wherein in this current module we are now going to discuss separated occupancy. Okay, so separated occupancy is on the same category as mixed occupancy of the previous submodule because they are both under multiple occupancies. However, there is a critical difference. Here, in separated occupancy, each occupancy is provided with independent egress. That is the difference. Just like I also mentioned in the previous module, there are 3 areas which are separated from one another. Number 1, office. Number 2, restaurant. And number 3, combination of bookstore and grocery store. As you can see, there are provisions separating these 3 occupancy and also provision for independent egress. Okay, so it's very clear. So independent egress meaning for office we have 1 and 2. Okay, entrance and exit can both be used as an independent egress for office. So there are 2 egress for office as an independent occupancy. And the green area, which is a combination of bookstore and grocery store, there are 4 egress. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and also these egress are independent from the egress of office. Okay, and the same is true with the third area, which is restaurant, wherein it has also its own independent egress, 1, 2. Okay, so that is the main difference of separated occupancy. As you can see here, between mercantile and business. Okay, so what is the difference of mercantile and business? It will always occur in real and practical application because actually this the whole business, but those area which display and sell products, they are called mercantile area, mercantile occupancy, and those other business functions are called business. Like for example, paperworks. Okay, so that is business area. Okay, paperworks, accounting work, delivery department. Okay, so they are not displaying things and they are not selling things, so they are business. So as you can see, there are 2 types of occupancy and they are separated by these red lines. These red lines are representative of a material, a different material, a fire-rated material, okay, that separate business from mercantile. Meaning to say, what do you mean by that? Meaning to say, if there is an initial fire development in business area, that would not go to the mercantile area immediately. And therefore, we have the situation wherein we can call the occupants in this area to be in direct contact of the or in the vicinity of fire, while on this area they are not. So we have separate procedure and safety protocols that have to be followed by this group, occupants in this group, because this group are not near the fire occurrence. Okay, so that is what we mean, because this is a separation here. So the fire will not be able to go to the other side immediately. So fire-rated materials for this. So that is the concept that we previously discussed, explained, that there are two groups of people in a building. Okay, those people that are within some close distance with a fire, okay, here have to do different things, different steps in order to get away, to survive the fire. While those persons who are in this area don't need to go near this area while going out. So they can go out here, here, and here without being in danger of fire breaking out in the other area. Okay, so separated. Okay. So multiple occupancy building with shared exit access corridor like this. So there are exit access, so exit access corridor. This corridor is being shared by both, which prohibits it from protection via the separated occupancy provision. Multiple occupancy building permitted to be protected via the separated occupancy provision. Okay, so you need what? Independent. So the term here is an independent egress. Okay, independent. So if you look at this part is not independent. They are it is being shared by both. This is not an independent egress. So this is not allowed for a separated occupancy. And because we are governed by separated occupancy, so we need to have an independent egress. This have to be installed. This have to be constructed. These two. Okay, to have to be. So this plan must be reconfigured by putting additional independent egress. Okay. So for example, in here, so how many independent areas do we have? 1, 2, including this one. This is 2, 3, 4, and 5. So there are 5 separated occupancy protected from one another by these red lines. Okay, the thick red lines, not the thin red line. Okay, this is not type of material that would comply with the minimum requirement of fire rating. So while the bold or the thick red lines comply with the minimum and have fire rating. Okay. So there are 5 separate areas here. So required separation of occupancies, times of hours. Okay. Different occupancy type, different requirements, and different, for example, type of assembly. Assembly with greater than 300, assembly with 300 to less than 300, and greater than 300 to less than 1,000, and greater than 1,000. They are categorized like that in terms of assembly. 300, 1,000 are the threshold. Okay. So for example, okay, occupancy type separated with another one. So educational to 2 hours. Required separation. Assembly, educational, 2 hours. Okay. So that is what we mean by this table. Okay. So for example, educational separated to daycare 2 hours. Okay. Why there is no number of hours here? Because assembly less than 300, assembly less than 300, they are not multiple occupancy. They are the same occupancy. So it is not given on the table. Okay? Given are the type of occupancy being separated to another type of occupancy. Okay. For example, we have an example of industrial and hospital. Okay. Okay. We have healthcare, hospitals and healthcare. With industrial, we do not have industrial. Okay. In the other page, we have the other page. Okay. So healthcare and ambulatory. So how much? 2 hours. So usually 2 hours. There are some 1 hour separation. Okay. Usually 2 hours separation. For example, assembly of less than 300 occupants. Okay. And daycare. So 1 hour. Okay, 1 hour. Okay, maybe we can question the logic because daycare usually what kids, okay, and assembly. Okay, why assembly? Daycare of greater than 12 clients, 2 hours. But daycare home, 1 hour. Okay. So it's a difference. Again, for example, hotels in dormitories and next to 2 family dwellings, 1 hour. Okay, so that is how we need the separation, the fire rating that I'm talking about. The division between the 2 different type of occupancy must be separated by this fire rating of material. Okay. 1 hour, 2 hours. There is no 1.5 hours. So 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours here. You can see 3 hours here. Mercantile, 3 hours. Okay. Usually mercantile, 3 hours. Okay. 2 hours to 1 hour, 3 hours, and 0 hour. Okay. There are no 4 hours. So those are the time that we expect most of the occupancy would be able to get out of the area. But the intimate occupants, intimate those are within the neighborhood of fire, and not intimate. Intimate with the fire, no? Intimate with the initial fire development. Okay? And those persons that intimate with the initial fire development. So those are the two types. Okay, sorry about that. And we have part 2 here. That example that I'm talking about, what? Healthcare and industrial. Here, industrial general purpose, industrial special purpose, industrial high hazard. So the laboratory is high hazard. So let us look at that's high hazard or special purpose laboratory of hospital. Okay. So healthcare, that is both, all of them actually. General purpose, special purpose, and high hazard, 2 hours. So healthcare versus next to the industrial, 2 hours. Okay. And what about 3 hours here? Storage with high hazard. Storing high hazard components or material. Okay. Hazard material, 3 hours. And also here, no? Okay, mercantile bulk retail. Bulk retail. Okay. So mercantile, there are 3 types. Okay. Mercantile, mall, and bulk retail. Bulk retail, 3 hours. So materials are assumed to be what? Flammable and fuel type of material. Okay. So next, and the rest of the table number 2. Okay, so for example, business and the healthcare. This is in healthcare. So we have there is the healthcare. Healthcare here. Healthcare. Here's the business. Here. Healthcare and business here, 2 hours. Okay. So this part is the business. So if you take a look at mercantile, 2 hours. There's next to business, mercantile next to business, 2 hours. Okay. So that information, very important to use those tables. Again, that is table 6.1.1, 14.4.1a, and table 6.1.14.4.1b. So table is part 1, part 2. So the required separation of occupancies in terms of hours. And let us just familiarize ourselves with the footnotes Okay, here we have what? On the lower portion, we have minimum fire resistance rating. Fire resistance rating is permitted to be reduced by 1 hour, but in no case to less than 1 hour. Okay, for example, 2 hours could be less than 1 hour, or it will become 1 hour. But that is the minimum, because it is said in no case less than 1 hour. Where is that footnote? The cross footnote. Where the cross footnote? Where the cross footnote? And where the building is protected throughout by an approved automatic sprinkler system in accordance with 9.7.1.1 and supervised in accordance with 9.7.2. Okay, so sprinkler is chapter 9. Okay, okay, so we can do it with less fire rating of material because we will use what? Sprinkler system. Okay. A 1 hour reduction due to the presence of sprinklers in accordance with the single dagger footnote is not permitted. So here, double dagger symbol. So reduction of 1 hour is not permitted. Okay. So it's important to read those footnotes. Okay. So same footnote is written here. So therefore, we are able to be aware and be informed about this separated occupancy. Again, this is Dr. DrEYPEI, preaching engineering for nation building.